Welcome to Calming Harp, the sounds of David's Psalms. I'm glad you've joined us for this brief moment we share together. I will be playing some of the music that has been brought out of the Psalms. My name is Steve Rees. I play the harp, and over the last several years I've been bringing the sounds of David's Psalms into recordings. You can find a lot of my music on my website, www.calmingharp.com. I have CDs available and MP3s. And you can go to YouTube. If you go to YouTube and then type in Peregrinati, Peregrinnatti, you will find hours of beautiful harp music that you can just play in the background and be calmed with the music that David may have played for his sheep at one time or another. So as we share this half hour, join me and enjoy the sounds of David's harp. Well, good day. Here we are again. It's the 10th of June. Year's almost half over with. And it's kind of funny. My wife and I were talking the other day. If any of you have ever seen the movie Groundhog Day, that's kind of the way we feel right now. We've committed to taking care of Shirley's dad. And so every day is about the same as the day before, and progress is very slow. But we can sense the prayers of y'all, and we appreciate it, and thank you, and don't stop. Next week we will be getting a bit of a break. We'll be going to the Proclaim event up in Iowa. Our dear friend Shauna Dose is putting that together, and we have been part of it several years, and we'll be part of it again this year, and we're looking forward to seeing some of you there, hopefully. And if you're there and I haven't met you before, please come and introduce yourself. We'd love to meet you face to face. So anyway, Proclaim is a fun deal. Music and good words all through the weekend, and just great fellowship. So if y'all aren't going, maybe change your mind and come anyway. So anyway, that's as much as I'll say about that. You certainly are invited. Anyway, today I was, as I read the news every morning, especially this last week, has been just really filled with a lot of real negative stuff. And I'm not going to comment about particular pieces of news, but what I want to do is kind of pull my own attention and hopefully your attention back to what our Heavenly Father has to say about all that. First of all, Psalm 12 is one I'm going to start with. This was written to the choir master. Remember, David set up choirs of the priests, and so he wrote specifically for them, and it's according to the Sheminith, and we think that's either a musical instrument or a style of music that he used to portray these words. And it's a psalm of David. Save, O Yahweh, for the godly one is gone, for the faithful have vanished from among the children of men. As we read some of these things going on around us, we're tempted to think that maybe the faithful have gone. Everyone utters lies to his neighbor. With flattering lips and double heart they speak. May Yahweh cut off all flattering lips, the tongue that makes great boasts. And from both sides of the aisle I've heard great boasts lately, and our Heavenly Father has something to say about that. Those who say, with our tongue we will prevail, our lips are with us, who is master over us? Because the poor are plundered, because the needy groan. I, Yahweh, will now arise, says Yahweh. I will place him in the safety for which he longs. The words of Yahweh are pure words, like silver refined in a furnace on the ground, purified 7 times. You, O Yahweh, will keep them. You will guard us from this generation forever. That's a long time, guys. On every side the wicked prowl, as vileness is exalted among the children of men. Have any of you noticed any vileness being exalted among the children of men this past week? I have to say that I certainly have. I keep telling people our Heavenly Father's going to have to apologize to Sodom and Gomorrah here pretty soon if things continue as they are. And then when we go on to Psalm 13, we have to the choir master again, a psalm of David. How long, O Yahweh, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I take counsel in my soul and have sorrow in my heart all the day? How long shall my enemy be exalted over me? Consider and answer me, O Yahweh, my Elohim, my Heavenly Father. Light up my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death, lest my enemies say, I have prevailed over him, lest my foes rejoice because I am shaken. But I have trusted in your steadfastness, my Heavenly Father, your love, your steadfast love. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to Yahweh because he has dealt bountifully with me. And then I wanted to go on to Psalm 14. Again, to the choir master. Again, David wrote this. The fool says in his heart, there is no God. Well, they are corrupt. They do abominable deeds. There is none who does good. Have we seen any abominable deeds going on around us, coming across the news? The Lord looks down from heaven on the children of men to see if there are any who understand, who seek after God. They have all turned aside. Together they have become corrupt. There is none who does good, not even one. Have they no knowledge, all these evildoers who eat up my people as they eat bread, and do not call upon Yahweh? There they are in great terror, for God is with the generation of the righteous. You would shame the plans of the poor, but Yahweh is the refuge of the poor. Oh, that salvation for Israel would come out of Zion. When Yahweh restores the fortunes of his people, let Jacob, rejoice, and let Israel be glad. There is a salvation coming, folks. There is an accountability that will be exercised upon those who slander our Heavenly Father. Finally, Psalm 15, a psalm of David once again. O Yahweh, who will sojourn in your tabernacle, in your temple? Who will dwell on your holy hill? The one who will walk blamelessly and does what is right and speaks truth in his heart, who does not slander with his tongue and does no evil to his neighbor, nor takes up a reproach against his friend, in whose eyes a vile person is despised, but who honors those who fear Yahweh, who swears to his own hurt and does not change, who does not put out his money at interest and does not take a bribe against the innocent. He who does these things shall never be moved. I'm going to play a song that Shirley and I recorded. Shirley's going to read the psalm, and I'm going to be playing the music from the psalm. It's Psalm 48, and then I'll have a few comments at the end to finish out. So listen to the music.
Psalm 48, a song of the second day of the week. Great is Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, and greatly to be praised in the city of our Elohim, in the mount of his set-apartness. Beautiful on high, the Simcha of the whole earth is Mount Zion, on the sides of the north, the city of the great Melech. Elohim is known in her citadels as her refuge. For look, the Melechim were assembled, they passed by together, they saw it, and so they marveled. They were troubled and rushed away. Fear took hold upon them there, and pain as of a woman in travail. You broke the ships of Tarshish with an east wind. As we have heard, so have we seen in the city of Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh Sabaoth, in the city of our Elohim. Elohim will establish it, Leolam Va'ed, Selah. We have thought of your loving kindness, O Elohim, in the midst of your Beit HaMikdash. According to your name, O Elohim, so is your Tehillah to the ends of the earth. Your right hand is full of Zedekah. Let Mount Zion Gilah, let the daughters of Yehuda be in Simcha because of your Mishpatim. Walk around Zion and go around her, count her towers, mark well her ramparts, consider her citadels, that you may tell it to the following generation. For this Elohim is the Elohim Leolam Va'ed. He will be our guide even to our death.
Great is our God and greatly to be praised. With all of the things that we're seeing daily, I wake up in the morning and go, okay, what's going to be the day? And I'm not usually too surprised as it unfolds and seems to have even more to consider than the day before. But at the end of it all, great is our God, our Heavenly Father, and greatly to be praised. You know, I was saying that in my comments before, I said salvation will come. Well, I need to be reminded myself and remind you that salvation is already here. Yeshua already accomplished that. What we're really waiting for is the total restoration of his kingdom, that his kingdom would come and his will would be done here on earth the way it is done in heaven, as he said in the Lord's Prayer. The things that we see, I don't want to dwell on the negatives because there's so much of that out there, and quite frankly, I think the ploy of the enemy is to get us concentrating on the negatives so that we take our eyes off of Yeshua, take our eyes off of our Heavenly Father, and start to get worried about all the things that are occurring around us. I think the last 3 years have been proof of that some amazing things have been put in place that would never have made it in years gone by, but they were successful this time because they were able to get so much fear into the people, and people capitulated because they were being driven by fear. I think I shared this one other time, but it's worth sharing again. I remember watching the movie Dune, the first original version, and there's a place where Paul Atreides is being tested to see whether he is worthy to become the king, essentially. And they put his hand in this box, and the box makes him think that his hand is burning up with fire. But it's not really, it's just making him think that. And he keeps saying to himself, I must not fear, I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer, fear is the mind killer, I must not fear, I must not fear. Well, you know what? There's never a more true word that's been spoken. And it's too bad it had to be on a movie to hear the words, but the truth is, fear is the mind killer. As soon as we fear, our mind shuts down. Our ability to be reasonable diminishes. I remember when I was in my nurse's training in the psychiatric section of our training, one of our instructors was talking about she had landed in Phoenix Airport, and at the time the carpet there had these big phoenix woven into the carpet, big colorful phoenix. And she was missing a flight, and she was very extremely anxious, and anxiety had really taken over. And she was rushing to the next gate to try to get on the plane in time to not miss the flight. And she said that she didn't even notice these big, beautiful, colorful phoenixes, birds woven into the carpet. And the next time she had landed there, a few weeks later, she was with a friend, and she says, "Oh, did they change the carpeting? This is beautiful. I haven't seen these before." And all the time she had been walking right over them, but she had not noticed them because her fear had taken over her ability to see what was going on. And that's a lesson for us, for each one of us. We have to not get sucked up into the negatives. It seems like a lot of what is broadcast across the airwaves to us today are things designed to make us fearful. Things designed to make us worry. Things designed to make us doubt whether tomorrow is going to be okay or not. Things designed to make us begin to divide and fight each other instead of unite and find ways to help each other. Things designed to set us at odds with each other, to separate us into the them and the us. And the more separated we become, the less we will understand about each other. And those who are designing these what should I say, these news items, shall I say, those who are designing them for the specific purpose of dividing people are going to be successful if we allow them to continue to cause us to divide. So my word for myself and my word for each one of us today is there's a whole lot more of us than there are of them. We don't have to let them win. We don't have to let them conquer. In fact, I tell people all quite frequently, one of the best things that could happen for our homes, our families, our fellowships, our communities, our cities, our counties, our states, our nation, our world, the best thing that could happen would be to shut off all of that source of division. Take that television and disconnect it at least. Start watching videos of things that are uplifting and helpful. My wife and I have a list of what we call our movie critic list, and we have found that there are hundreds of really good movies on YouTube, and we watch one and we rate it, and we put a little blurb about what it's about, so that if we want to recommend it to somebody, we can refer to our list and recommend. And we have found literally hundreds of really wonderful movies that have great stories, that many of them are true stories that have been put on into movie form. These are the things that we can do that will build up our families, build up our communities, build up our states, and build up our nation. These are things that will bring us together and help us understand that we all are walking this path together. And if we will come together, we can help each other. If we will come together, we can stop this craziness that's going on. It's only as we're divided that these people will be successful. It's only as we are divided that we will find ways to hurt each other instead of help each other. I find so many times when Shirley and I go around doing our programs around the country, we sit down at tables into the wee hours of morning having conversations with people, and the more we talk with them and encourage them and they encourage us, the more we find that we have in common, the more we find ways that we can help each other, the more we find commonalities that we can build on instead of becoming more and more divided and split. And that's my message today for each one of us. That's my message for myself. Shut off the media, shut off the TV, shut off all of the negativity, shut off the news. Turn on your Heavenly Father, turn on His Word, turn on the wonderful stories of His people, of His children. And as we do that, we will find that our world will become a much better place. So I hope you've enjoyed our time together. Stay tuned, as I say. Little pun. I have many more songs to share with you. I have more to share about how this all comes together. And I pray that you will share and help people, especially those you see stressed, especially in these times that we're going through. Bring people to this calming and this peace and this rest that this beautiful music of the Psalms of David brings to each of our lives. Thank you for listening. Hope to see you next week. Many, many blessings to you all today.